Hello everybody and welcome to another tutorial in camera and lens repair. And this time I would like to show you how it is possible to actually re-grease the Ai-s Nikkor 15mm, and it's a 3.5. This amazing super wide angle lens, which is one of my absolutely favorite lenses, with this way they render the picture. Yeah, it's simply amazing. But over time the focusing helicoid gets what you say, it misses the way the grease is actually working, so it will get stiff, or it will not work so good as it should. So this is why I dig into the lens and look how it actually is inside, and measure, and yeah, actually make a little story about that. Now, it's a double helicoid, what you say, the CRC lenses, which have a normal helicoid here, and it also have a back helicoid, which is the second part of the helicoid system to make it close. It can focus on a very close range. So but let's have a look inside. But we need some tools, at least some. We need some tweezers, are very handy. It could be straight, curved, or something with those very what you say, small dents. And a dentist tool or two. The very pointy one is really good to make scratch, and a flat one which is excellent to pry off the rubber grip here on the focusing ring. To make scratches, yeah, you say you damage your lens. No, I just set small marks inside, no one will see it. So I went into the modeling shop, which I sometimes buy stuff, tools and so, and I found this smart little thing that is called a flexi file or flexi file. Don't know how you pronounce it, but it's really a good one because you can change the very pointy tip. This is a fine tip in one end and a bigger one in the other end, which is quite smart. I make a link in the description and other details too. No, I'm not sponsored by any company. Everything I do on my channel is on my own. Okay, we also need some screwdrivers, which can be actually handy. It's important to get into those. At least we need JIS screwdrivers, or GCIS for Japan Camera Industry Standard. So you get that. It's not the same as Phillips screwdrivers, especially because the tip are different if we compare to a Phillips screwdriver. A flathead screwdriver, this is a 1.8, and if you only had a 1.2, it's also okay. We will only use it for a few screws. The famous Japan hobby tool, rubber tool cones, which are really good, thanks to that, Richard, if you hear that. A lens blower is also fine. This is the Orbit HEPA blower with a HEPA filter, so it will suck in the dirty air and push out the clean air, dust-free air. So We need some brushes to actually both clean the helicoid, and we also use a brush to add the grease, which I will try the Liqui-Moly LM47 MoS2. Is the MoS2 that make this so really good for many lenses. Some nail polish remover with acetone. It's actually also very important in these Nikkor lenses because they add a lot of thread lock back then. Some tubes, it could be whatever it is, some of those here, or just like a lid for a spray grease or something, because the lens can be put in here and actually stand on it. This is handy. Some lens tools? No, it's compasses, old compasses like those, which are really good for actually working as to take apart lenses, like this one. I also make a lot of notes, which you can see here from when I went into it, but we'll look at it closer soon. Yeah, let's get into it and see what we can do. At least the first things to do is actually take off the front lens group and put it aside and keep it in a safe place. Now, sometimes I use the very pointed tip here, and some other times I use the other, which has a more flat design, as you can see here. It's also good, but maybe it's not the right one for this, but let's give it a try. So there, and it has to sit in the two notches, which you can see here. There's one and the other one. And don't confuse yourself with, because there is two other here, but it's for the retaining ring that hold the front lens element. So only the outer notches you have to use. Now, it's maybe it's not the way one should be done, but I think it's I haven't tried a real lens tool, but those are really handy, and you can get them in many different sizes, and you can just modify them as you should. So get off the lens. It can sit quite tight, just so you know it. And I mean this is you really have to take care, because the front element is, well, as you know, expose it to damage if it's not handling correct. So flip it over and simply unscrew the lens body as you hold the front lens group with the rubber tool. And here we are. Should be possible to take it off, and here it is. Huge element. I mean, not one element, but you know, I think there are 14 in 11 groups or something like that. Put it aside where it's safe, and then we look closer into here. And we take off the back cap, the filter. Well, maybe not yet. Yeah, I think we do so. Off the filter. So it has here. I think there are 4 different types. And now we actually see, I mean, if we turn the focusing ring, you'll see nothing really happened on the front here. But it moved the front part of the lens. So if we look closer, it's on infinity, and it will go a little out, as you can see. So, but there's much more movement on the back here. If we look on the back lens group here, it will also turn if we move it, but you can see it moves a lot more than the main body, I mean the front body. So take care of that. So we will now then unscrew the 5 screws around here, and they can sit pretty tight. So if they do, and they do it in many Nikkor lenses from that age, I don't know why they use so much thread lock, but they did. So we, with the help from a cotton bud and nail polish remover, and you simply add a lot. So simply do this and a lot of it. Of course, I have been into the lens before, so it's not important in this case, but we will see. We will use more of this. So then use the I will use the 2.5mm for this. If the screw sits really tight, you have to go a number higher. It will say something like a 3mm to simply get the screwdriver to fit more precise in the screw. And it sometimes is actually a better idea than trying to use a lot of force to the normal screwdriver you probably have. And some of the screws are magnetic and some are not. Very weird. So yeah, it will say that. We can try the other screwdriver, the 2.5. It will also work in this case because I have been into it, but maybe in other cases it will not work. Now, so, and then we can, yeah, I should have set, yeah, it is on infinity and it's on aperture 22. Yeah, I should have said that before, but then lift out the aperture, I mean, not the aperture, but the back, I mean the mount, yeah, so it is. And then to make it easier, you can just press the aperture connection pin and move it so it's out. Nothing really special about that. There's a spring, there's a little pin here that go against the edge of the cam here. So when turning the aperture ring itself, this one will also, it will press on the inside here and actually move this part here. So now we can also take that out. It can only sit in one way, so that's really good. And now we look into the back of the lens where we can see what's happened with the focusing system. So we can move it, and you can probably see there are some movement here, actually a lot compared to the front part. A very important thing here before we do anything is actually make some scratch. I've been into it and actually did a lot of scratching here. And you think, yeah. But we need to do that because it's our only reference in actually put the lens back into normal again. So that's what I did. Set a mark here at the focusing ring is at infinity. See? And we will make a scratch here, another scratch down here, and actually make another scratch down here. That's very useful because it's our reference in where infinity is before we take it apart. You can also make another one here, just so you have another reference. It's because we need to unscrew the back lens screw with the lens tool into those two holes, boring. So with that in correct order, we know exactly where the the CRC helicoid system sits when it's at infinity. So we can actually take the whole thing apart. I can also take off the aperture ring. There is really a lot of dirt in here and old grease, so it needs some attention. Now, to get it off, I found out to put the lens on something and not damage or scratch the back lens. I found a cap from a spray can, and it can actually fit really perfect on here and not damage anything. So we look into here, we will make more scratch, and just to have our reference correct. You see, on the front here there is 3 screws here we need to unscrew. They have long holes, all 3 of them, and there is a guide pin here, kind of, which is also adjustable. It's actually an eccentric, so you can make the adjustment, but since it's already adjusted at the factory, I do not need to do anything about it. One can also set some marks here on the edge here and here, and also up here somewhere maybe, and it's just to control that everything is put together correct. So you can also set some mark here and here. Now and then we can unscrew that. There's no need for using any nail polish remover here because they do not sit that tight. And underneath here, under the here you actually can see there are some, it's not a spacer, it's one tiny spacer here. No, it's a full spacer. There are actually 2 of them, or there could be different in your lens, maybe 1 or so. So when I unscrew this, the last screw here, there, and have the lens on infinity, have a grip here, you see it can be moved. So now I can actually turn it over and push it out, or just let it fall into my hand, and flip it over, and it looks like this. Now we just put it aside. Here you can see the 2 spacers I actually mentioned before, and they have a little cutout here to flow away. I set a a little mark here where the notch is, so also so I know the spacers sit in the correct position. I mean, not upside down, then you cannot put it in, but it will just make it easier. So when they sit correct, like this. There and there. Now, if we look here on the back, and this is why it is so important to set marks before you do anything. Remember, we set a mark here at infinity. So all the way down here, and also on the side here. See there. Set a little mark that is the infinity mark. And you can also set it here. Well, it's not really necessary, as long as you set the marks here in line with each other. When I turn it, when I unscrew it, I will set a mark where the helicoid is coming off, but that will happen sooner. I will just continue with the front helicoid system. So here you can see the front actually, and the cone here, and it sits with 3 screws, countersunk screws here. And before you take it apart, it's a good thing to actually set some small marks. Just a mark here and here and here, which I already done. And this is because so you not get confused, okay, which screws sits where, because okay, you could probably also use the other holes for the countersunk screw. I haven't tried, but not to confuse yourself with that. And then we can just continue, unscrew those 3, and then we have the whole focus assembly in our hand. And then all the measurement will happen before we take anything apart. That's it. And then I can take off the front cone here. Nothing really special. So put it aside somewhere. Now, this is how it looks. This is the whole helicoid system. And it's a bit too loose in my opinion. That's why I want to actually give it some good grease, new grease again. Before we take anything apart, it's necessary to measure how long is from the front here to the very back here. So I wrote some notes how it should sit in my lens. It could be different in your lens, but I would guess it's something like the same. We can just measure here. See, at infinity, from the inner helicoid front, it will say this is the inner helicoid. It will not turn, it's the focusing ring that turns. From the front here to the very back here. Yes, there should be something like, let's say, 38 point something, like 90, it's 38.94, and it's actually okay. And at infinity, from the front of the focusing ring is something like 38.18 to the back of the focusing assembly. So it will say from the back, from the front of the actual focusing ring, the very thin edge here, to the back here, there should be something like so there, well, it's something like that. It's not so important, but this is a reference, so we know where we ended up if we do anything wrong. Well, at the inner of the back is something like 15.98, and we can just check if it's here, still on infinity. So we can measure if it's possible. It's not that important that it is so precise in this case, because it's just a guideline, would you say? Something like that. It's not really that important, as long as it's not 4mm or so wrong. Now, to get it off, I mean to actually take it apart, we need to, where is it? Hey, where is it? Where is it? Somewhere. And my dentist tool here. You see, well, we'll just do it in the right order. So we need to unscrew the inner helicoid, and we'll say the inside here needs to come out. It's not possible at the moment because there are two guide pins here on the back. It will say here and there, sitting with two screws each side. And before we take it apart again, we make some scratch. It will say inside here, it's good to make a scratch there, there, and there, and inside here too, which is a good thing because we need those marks inside here. And I also write a number here. So this guide pin is number 1. So I actually make a mark here, 1, and also here on the other one. I'd also make some scratch over here and there and there, and set it is number 2. The holes are long. It will say they can be adjusted one way or the other on both of them. So we can just unscrew them. Not a big deal. Yep. Number 2 first. Take care of the screws and the pins and all the stuff. Oh. And we can take out the guide pin here. So number 2. But then we go to number 1. And this one here. And also take this out, and don't move the focusing ring yet. And have it there. Everything sits where it should, correct? So out with this one. Now, don't move the inside yet. So I begin with the the number 1 here, the side of the where the guide pins sit. There is a mark here, and it's good because then I know this one, this helicoid here, can actually move, as you see. So I found out to unscrew it, we will unscrew it 3 turns till it come off at almost the mark here at pin 1. So if I turn it, where you have it, and if we look from the front, it has to go counterclockwise to unscrew it. So if we turn it here, it will say 1, 2, and almost 3. See, I actually set a mark here, which is an arrow. It will say where it comes off. So almost 3 at, you see, when you see the number 1 here, see the arrow, when it comes off. It's the correct position of that. It's something like that. It's just so you have an idea of, it's not over here, or it's not over here, but there. So set a mark here, make a scratch where this helicoid comes off, make an arrow. It's very important, because if you assemble it wrong, well, you cannot reach the infinity or so. Wow, really, really dirty in here. It needs attention. Now, that was part of it. The next thing is the middle helicoid and the which will also come off in a way. Infinity we have here, so it cannot move anyway. We need to take off the rubber grip, the rubber ring, and it's really easy with the dentist tool or some other flat tools you have. So dig under it and gently move it as you go on here. And the tape inside can be a little tricky. Yeah, you can see I also damaged the tape, but that doesn't matter. It's old, and I have been into the lens before, so it's yeah, things happen. Another important thing is, well, I should have done it in a different way, but well, let's see. You see, they set the focusing ring to infinity, and here, and you will set a mark here, or in line with the infinity. It doesn't really matter, as long as the focusing ring has the stop there. Then you can move this ring, and actually, yeah, I should have done it before, but the tape was really bad in this lens, so I should have gone the other way around. But as long as I put off the, take off the rubber, I should have make a scratch here, of course. But maybe in your lens it's better, so you just pry off the rubber, set a small mark here, or where you want, maybe in line with the index mark. It doesn't really matter, as long as you set a mark. Because then we can unscrew it. And before doing so, at infinity, there is a mark, and you also set a mark in here. It will say on the inside here of the, well, you could return it over, and it will say on the my reference point is the number 1 guide pin, where it sit somewhere here, And I also set a scratch in here so I know where it should sit. Now turn it over, and then we can actually turn it, and we have to turn it 5 3/4 turn before it comes off. And well, another thing is, as long as I measure it here from the front of the focusing ring to the back, I know where it should sit. So that's a good thing. And it has to turn clockwise, and it will say 5 3/4 till off. So if we count from the mark here, it will say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There, and 3/4. And let's see where it will go off. When it comes off, the point there. If we look inside here, the mark I set before, earlier, here, I set also a mark here when it comes off. It will say there. There's a small arrow. So I set another mark, and it will come off there. And that's important. Really important. I mean, as long as you measure before you take it apart, there shouldn't be any problem. So, but it's also important to set marks where the helicoid comes off. That's it. Now, we need to actually clean all the stuff. There's even more gunk and dirt in here. The focusing ring comes off. There is a stop here. If we look to that, inside here, there, and the other is there. So it's a very short distance you turn the focusing ring. So off of that, it's also a little dirty, but so it is with all lenses. And we also take off the depth of field plate. Before doing so, set a mark here, so you know where it should sit. That's a good thing. And all for that, we will use the 2mm screwdriver to unscrew those smaller screws here. So they are almost ready for cleaning. Oh, just need to also take off the click spring here. And before doing so, another scratch. I like scratch on here. Set a mark here where the spring is sitting correct. And also a stop mark here, the end mark here. Another one on the side, so you know where it should sit. Just so you're not turning, facing the other direction. That's why it is so important to set small marks. It's your only reference. And the repair manual does not tell anything about that. So off with that tiny screw and the little spring. You see, if you sit it like this, you will have a different, you will not have a click function that works. So we are almost there with this part. Over the depth of field scale ring, and so it is. Ready for cleaning. Now, to the back of the CRC part here, it's also important to measure something. And we have this in place. Now, this is all the notes I made about that. And if we just look at it here, if I measure the CRC back lens helicoid is 15.34 at infinity, and as you remember, I set a mark here when the back lens was in the lens body. So I set a scratch here, so it was all in line at infinity. So it's the same here. I also set a mark here and wrote infinity. That's important because right beside it is my off point for the helicoid. And let's measure it before we take it apart, just so we have an idea of where we will end up when put it back in. So when come on, what's happened with this? Let's see if it's measured from the very back, and it's something like 15 point. It's not so important as long as you have a almost there. It could be that if this one is turned just slightly, it will give you a different measure. Yeah, it's not so important as long as the infinity is not something like over here or so, or over here. Now, the back lens, the CRC will be unscrewed from the mark here, and almost one turn till it comes off. So we will turn it very gently, and my mark is here, and when it comes off, it's there. And it comes off with the arrow. The arrow is there where I set it. So you also set a mark there when it comes off, which is quite important. If I try to set it over here, it's not really possible to put it in wrong, but you shouldn't. There's actually the one helicoid here, that thread, that where it sits correct. It can be a little tricky to put in, and it says click at some point, and here we are back again. So off with that. This is how it looks inside the aperture plates, which is not the case of this history. Now, then we look into the back lens group itself, and the helicoid. I need to clean it, of course, but I need to unscrew the back lens group here. This is also important. Before doing that, set some mark here and there, just so you know where it should sit when you screw it in again. And in this case, this was extremely tight, so I use a lot of thread lock here, and I can just show you how I did. Where's the rubber cone here? And because it was extremely tight, so I simply add a lot of nail polish remover. You could, I don't know, but you could possibly also use isopropyl alcohol. Sometimes they work, sometimes not. But on the edge of the where it's assembled, you simply add a lot of thread lock, much more than I show here. This is just an example because I have been into the lens before, into the helicoid before, so it's not that tight, but still it could be tight enough. So using the rubber cone here is the number 4. It fit snugly in here, and to get a even better grip I could put it in the other one of the bigger. Now using a lens tool with a pointed tip, I'll just put it in here, see if it's possible to unscrew it, and tighten the screw here. So, and then comes the the problem to unscrew it. Have a good grip here on this one, and also on the lens tool. It was much more tight than I unscrewed first time. So we just put it on again here, because after 4 turns counterclockwise it will say this whole back lens will, when we turn it from the mark here, and 4 turns, just loosen it a little, and then we count 1, the mark here, and 2, 3, and 4. Then it comes off, and here it is, the back lens group, expose it. Now I will not clean that because it's not really necessary, but I will just keep it somewhere where it's safe in a way. It could be here. Yeah, just use this one and put it into the other, and it can sit there. Now that's all for me in this case, but I also need to have this helicoid also cleaned, so I will just use some lighter fluid with a mask on and simply clean it around here so it will be nice and fine. And well, see you sooner. I'll just go and clean something. And now we continue after a cleaning of the helicoid system, and then we just re-grease the threads here, and I will just begin with the back here. It's also was quite nasty, so I will with a fine brush here, which is actually very fine, and it is just from the art store somewhere. You can buy them in many different size and width and length and so, but in this case I will use my one of my favorite greases, the LM47 from Liqui-Moly, and I just put it in a small film container so it's easier to work with. So adding a little, I don't know how much is needed. It could be that it works or not, but let's see. Just begin with the back, it doesn't really need that much. I think it's a great grease for many helicoids. It does not really work with some Nikkor lenses, especially in the micro Nikkor, as the old 55 2.8 is simply too stiff. But let's see how it will go with this one. So there, and let's see how good it will be. And well, of course, I need to put in the back lens group, but of course I need to grease the thread first before I put the lens block in. And as you probably remember, I set a mark here where is on the edge of the back lens group, and also here on the helicoid ring, and it came off after 4 turns, so I just have to catch the thread again. It will say, well, I can go a little forward and then turn it backward, and then it should hit the correct thread, hopefully. There, click, it says. That's a good sign. And then screw it in. Use the helicoid number 4 here, and simply use the compass lens tool and tighten it to the correct mark where they was. So there. And there we have it. So just give it a try to put it on where it should sit. And since I have my mark here somewhere, and also my mark here with the arrow, it should fit when I put it in. Click there. Wow, this actually works really good, in my opinion. It's not too loose and it's not too tight. So give it some turn, and yeah, I think it worked really good. So there's no idea of adding more grease. It has a nice movement there. So that's for the back system. And then I will just put on because, well, I could just add the grease to the helicoids and then put the different helicoids into their place after adding the grease. Doesn't have to have much. It's just a thin layer. But of course not too less. So I think we'll be fine with that. There. And it will go into the other one here. So just go for the next one. It's a finer thread. So there. Just adding a little. So there. And of course we will also put on a little on the pin here, because it's the pin that is actually connected to the back of the CRC helicoid. So it also needs some attention. Not too much. That's fine. So let's see how it will go. Just give it a go here. And maybe we need to add more. We don't know yet. Let's see if we can find some marks here. Just say there. Where did it go? Number 1, it's there. And it came off there. And this is just to give it some, to spread the grease inside the next helicoid. It's not bad. Well, when there are more helicoids, it will of course be more stiff in a way. So maybe I will change it later. I don't know yet. Let's see. Just add a little around. Maybe it will be better. Let's see here. Where's my mark? My mark is there. And just give it a few turns, movement, and you hopefully are fine. Some of the threads can be a little, well, difficult to get on. Yeah, I think it will be fine. Or maybe it's a little too stiff. I don't know yet. So, and then we can just see how it will go with the most inner helicoid. Where's my number 1 here? And it goes here with the arrow. There. Sometimes it's necessary to give it a lot of movement to spread the grease in here. Or maybe it's a little too, what do you say, too tight or too stiff. I mean, it's not a universal grease. But it does not have to be too soft. I mean, too easy to move. Yeah, I think I will. I think I will stick with that from now. So, things that we need to do is to put on the depth of field scale, and I have a mark somewhere. If I have to turn it correct, it's there, close to the cutout for the aperture, and then I can just add my, just move this away, and let's see, a smaller screwdriver and 3 screws here. There. So. Maybe I will change it later on to maybe use the grade 30 on the outer, I mean on the actual helicoid, focus ring helicoid, and stay with the back, the CRC with the Liqui-Moly. I don't know yet. Now add the focusing ring here. It does not really need anything because it will sit with tape onto the front. So I just need to find some marks here, and it's there where it should be. Should be an arrow somewhere here, and it will go on here. And the mark which I set in the beginning, so it will say something like that. And just give it a little movement back and forth to catch the thread. And we need to turn it. Let's see if we can get some notes here. Middle helicoid. It will say this one. It starts here. Hopefully you can see it there. And it goes a 3/4 turn. And it will end it up over here. And then 5 turns. It will say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And here we are back again onto the where we started. So I can simply put in the, and let's measure how long it is. So where is my notes here? It will say at infinity. It will say the focusing ring. At infinity it will be something like 38.18 at infinity. And since I have a mark here, and I set it to 80, to infinity, I should measure something. Well, at least something. How much is it? Should be something like 38 point. Go. Oh, doesn't really sit correct. There. and it's not bad. I mean, so something like that. So I am on the spot and can put in the guide pins, which is quite good, and also a little, I need to add a little grease on those before I put them in, especially on the side here. Just add a little. I mean, the grease here is actually good to sit on the metal where you add it. Not much more than that. And with a tweezer I can put it in where it should sit. Well, not yet, because of course I need to put in the next, I mean the inner helicoid. Well, bah. So it is. Now, those marks here are all okay. So I have to find number 1, which is here. The little arrow I set where this helicoid came off. So I just need to put it in, catch the thread, and in the correct one, and it will say there. So catch the thread, don't push too much on it or you will damage the thread because it's aluminium. There it is, and it has to go almost 3 turns until back to the to where it was, this one here, and then I should measure something like 15.98 or so. So let's see. I begin here and go 1 and 2, and we ended up at 3 turns. Now everything should be lined up, and we can just measure how much it should be. Something like 38.94 or something like that. Well, it's not that bad. I mean, that's really good. Then I can put the guide pins in. And where did it go? It's here. So there. Come on, little fellow. Oh. There. Then adding a screw. Oh, not this one, but the other one. Interesting how good it will be. Maybe we have to adjust the guide pins a little so they run as smooth as possible. Oh gosh. There. So let's see. Let's see how good it will be. Oh, in my opinion, it's not that bad. It's more stiff than it was, but I like it that way. If it's too loose, I don't like it. Also, we have to find the correct spot for the see the edge here, where I set some marks here. You probably can see it here. and it's not correct here. So just need to align a little. If I loosen screw, so there, and then it should be possible to align the two marks so it fits. Should be there. Yeah, I think it's fine. And gently tighten it, and then give it another go. So, how is it? Wow, it helped a lot. Feels good. It's more stiff than it was, but of course there was not really any grease on it. So yeah. Then the next one, we can just add a little grease on the guide pin. Here. So there. And on the other side. That's all I need. Doesn't have to be too much. It will just sit there and collect dirt and dust. Oh, sorry, I was out of frame, but give it a go. So there, and adding a screw, another screw here. Don't tighten it yet, just so it's a little loose. And this screw here. And you can see the marks is actually sitting where they should, on this side and on the other side. So that's fine. Tighten it a little, and then the other one, and back again, and then another go. Come on. There. Now, wow, it feels really good. I mean, in my opinion. So, adding the depot field, I mean, not the depot field, the little tiny spring for the aperture ring, click spring or so. I don't know the exact name, but it could be something like that. And since I make some scratch here, I know exactly where it should sit. So there is no problem there. Ah, it's really tiny. Come on, little fellow. And here we go. There. Yeah, it's small parts. So there, and the next one. And it comes in here. So, here we are. Gently tighten the screws. I know what I forgot. I need to clean the aperture ring, so I will just be back. See you. Okay. Well, I just give the cam ring here and the aperture ring a little good care. And yeah, that's it. I will then put the focusing ring itself in correct position. So it will say there, infinity is there, and my mark is here. So this one should just line up. And then put on some sticky tape. Well, I did not have any normal tape, so I will just use some double-side tape, which also can be a good solution. And then the rubber ring sits just better. It's just a normal 3M, which I think it's really good. I will when I got a normal tape again, I will just take off the rubber ring again and put it on. So this is just for now. And it fits absolutely okay. Just use a normal scissor, and that's it. So now the rings are connected, and it works really good. I think it works pretty good. So then I can just add many of the other parts before putting on the aperture ring and the back, the mount. So I put it on this. It works pretty good for this. Maybe it also works with other Nikkor lenses. So adding the front and my index mark here should fit in line with the Nikkor name and the yeah. So, and of course it can only sit in one position, so just so we know that. Now the tiny screws, I think we'll stick with a 2.5mm here. And since I have set marks where the countersunk screw sit, I know it. It's good I have a monitor in front of me so I can see what I actually do and where. And so also if I out of frame, it can happen sometimes, but hopefully not too often. There, and the last one. Then I can tighten. Yeah, I will just put the rubber ring on after that. I will just change the tape as soon as possible, because it can also be put on here from the back, not a problem. So now set the focus ring on infinity, put it on here, put in the 2 or 3 or maybe only 1 spacer. Oh, it's actually okay, I didn't see that. There's actually 3 spacers. Wow. Well, I didn't know that. They would just stick together. Or this one was just stick to the most thicker ring. Well, there was actually 3. Well, surprising. That was a surprise. We'll just put them in here. So they fit something like that. We can always adjust it when the inner system is put on. Now you see, set the back here to infinity. It will say those marks you set in the beginning where they should sit, and then put in there's a hole for the guide pin, so it should be possible. Oh gosh, here should be possible to put it in, and then it should sit as, maybe it's better in that way. So don't move anything yet. Just put a finger on here so it will not fall out, and then we can flip it over and see here on the back we have to correct it maybe a little. Then I should be able to put this on, and it will come over this notch here for the back helicoid, and I should be able to actually put it on, do some, so, and now it sits where it should, as you can see here. Wow, it's really good, nice and a little tight, but it's fine. You see, it's really exposed, so the back element, so this is why you should use something like that, or you could use a glass or tube, but this I mean, it works. I'm happy. Just align the holes here where they should sit, so one can put in the screws, and then we are almost done, amazingly. Those 3 screws goes in here. So we can also check that the marks we set here on the edge that they also sit where they should. And there's not really any, I mean, you do not need to put in thread locks here. So if we look here, it sits, you can see the mark here, you can see the mark over here, and it's also visible here. Then we can just tighten all the screws gently, so, and then add the front lens group. Wow, it's so much better. Haha. And then add this on. Where is the bigger one? You could also just use a lens cloth or something, and then put it on. Go a little backward to catch the thread. There it goes. So, and everything is fine. Again, just add the front cap. Then we can do the rest of the assembly by adding a little grease on the aperture ring. I think it will be fine, not too much, just adding a little, especially around the click, so that it will work nice and smooth. Something like that, and give it a little go on the middle here. I think it will work. Too much. There. So, and since I have not put in the cam ring here, I can simply just turn the aperture ring around, and in that way spread the grease. And I think it has to be on the edge here, actually. So wow, it works really good, and it has a better click than it has before, because there was simply too much in here. Now, adding the cam here, and I think I will just give it a little on the edge here, just a little. And also in here where the cam is, I mean where the little pin from the mount is sitting against. Oh. So I think it will be fine. Then add the cam here. Let the notch here and the pin, so it can be turned. Maybe it's a little too much, but I can just take away a little of the way too much grease. There's no idea there's too much. So, nice and fine. Then the last thing is to put in, set the aperture to something 22, the lens to infinity. It will make it easier to actually catch the pin down here. It will say, where's my tweezer here? This pin here, that is the connection to the mount via the fork here. This one here. So by pushing a little away, you can you can see down through it here. I know it's difficult to see on the video, but I hope you see the meaning. Add it, and then turn the screws so they sit correct. And you should be able to move the pin, catch the holes, and then we can move the aperture and everything. Wow, it's much better. It was a little too tight before. Then add the screws. there, and that was not the correct one. I mean, all the screws are the same, but it's better than when you screw in screws like this. You begin with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so. So you screw it in a star way, can one say. And then the last two, and here we are back to normal with a much better focusing lens than it was. I mean, not focusing, but the focus ring is much easier and better to turn, in my opinion. Then add the filter. Put the filter on. There are 2 marks here, you probably can see, and then you can push it down and turn it, and that's it. So that's all for this. Now I like it much better than the other one. So that's all from me in this video. Hope you enjoy the content and can use the info. So see you sooner in another video. Bye bye.